Math with Mr. Williams, example 1. Graphing a linear equation in standard form. Here we have graph negative 2x plus 3y equals negative 6. So the important thing to remember when you're in standard form is to graph it. It's quite easy. What we're looking for is our x-intercepts and our y-intercepts. The x-intercepts must have a y that equals 0, and our y-intercepts must have an x that equals 0. So let's find our x-intercepts first. So let's go ahead and rewrite our equation with the y equaling 0. Now 3 times 0 cancels out, leaving us negative 2x equals a negative 6. Draw a line of equality. Now we're going to cancel out the negative 2 by dividing by negative 2 on both sides. The negative 2's on the left cancel, leaving us x equals 3. So our order pair would be 3, 0 to start off with. Now we're going to go ahead and solve for the y-intercepts. That's when x equals 0. So let's substitute that in our equation. We see negative 2 times 0 will cancel out, leaving me 3y equals negative 6. Draw my line of equality. I'm going to go ahead and divide by 3 on both sides. The 3's cancel. Y equals negative 6 divided by 3, give me a negative 2, giving me an order pair of 0, negative 2. Let's go ahead and graph the first one. So we have 3, 0. So we start at the origin, move right to 3, and we don't move up or down. So our first order pair will land us on the x-intercept of 3. Now for the second one, now we have 0, negative 2 to find our y-intercept. So we start at the origin, we don't go left or right, but we go down 2, and we place our dot. Now we connect our dots. And now we've graphed our standard form. With Mr. Williams, example 2, graphing a linear equation in standard form. Graph x plus 3y equals negative 3 using intercepts. So the first one we're going to look for is the y-intercept. All right, that's when x equals 0. All right, so let's go ahead and substitute that 0 in for the x. The 0 is 0, so we're not going to add anything to it, so it's going to go away. So we have 3y equals negative 3. Draw a line of equality. We're going to divide by 3 on both sides. The 3 on the left will cancel, leaving us y equals a negative 1. All right, so our order pair will be 0, negative 1 for the first one. All right, now for the x-intercept, we have when y equals 0. So let's go ahead and substitute that 0 in for the y. All right, 3 times 0 is going to give us 0. So it's going to cancel out, leaving us the x equals a negative 3. So our order pair will be negative 3 and 0. All right, let's go ahead and graph that first one. So we are at 0, negative 1. So we start at the origin. We do not go left or right, but we do go down 1 space. All right, on to the second one. We have negative 3, 0. So we start at the origin. We move left 3 spaces, but we do not go up or down. And now we draw a line through those 2 dots. And now we've graphed our standard form. Math with Mr. Williams, example 3, using intercepts to graph a linear equation. Use intercepts to graph the equation 3x plus 4y equals 12. So let's start off with looking for our y-intercept. This is when x equals 0. Let's substitute that 0 into the equation. 3 times 0 cancel out, leaving me 4y equals 12. Draw a line of equality. To cancel the 4, I'm going to divide by 4 on both sides. Y equals 3. So my order pair would be 0, 3. All right, now for my x-intercept. This is when y equals 0. Let's substitute that 0 in for the y. 4 times 0 cancel out, leaving me 3x equals 12. I'll draw my line of equality. I'm going to cancel out the 3 by dividing by 3 on both sides, leaving me x equals 4. All right, so we have our order pair of 4, 0. Now let's go ahead and graph it. So we have 0, 3 to start with. So we're at the origin. We do not go left or right, but we do go up to 3. Now for the second one, we have 4, 0. So we start at the origin and we move right 4 spaces and we do not go up or down. Let's go ahead and connect those dots. And we've used our intercepts to graph our linear equation. From Mr. Williams, example 4, writing an equation using a slope and point. Write an equation in point-slope form of a line that passes through the point negative 6, 1 with a slope of 2/3. All right, so let's go ahead and write down our point-slope format. Now we're going to go ahead and substitute in our numbers. So the y stays. Our y1 would be 1 equals our slope is 2/3, parentheses, our x minus our x1 is a -6, so we're going to put that in parentheses because it is negative. Now we're going to go ahead and simplify that out because we can see right where it says x minus a -6, we want to simplify that. We have y minus 1 stays, the 2/3 for the slope stays, but now this changes to x plus 6 to keep it in the point slope form. Math of Mr. Williams, example 5, writing an equation using 2 points. Write an equation in slope-intercept form of the line that passes through the given points. All right, so we have 3 different points to choose from. I like to start off with calling this one the x1, y1, and then if we need to, this will be our xy, or we can choose this one for our xy. Let's start off by writing down our point slope format. Let's substitute our x1, y1 in to start with. Okay, we substituted our 10 and -1 in. Now let's go ahead and simplify that down because we know we can't have that minus a negative, giving us x plus 1 on the right. Now we're going to go ahead and substitute in either the 2, 4 or the 5, -2. I'm going to pick the first one, that 2, 4. So we'll substitute the 4 in for the y and the 2 for the x. Let's do some math. So we have 4 minus 10, -6, equals m, and 2 plus 1 is 3. Let's go ahead and draw our line of equality here. So now to get rid of the 3, we're going to divide by 3 on both sides. Our slope equals -6 divided by 3 is a -2. Now that we found the slope, what we're going to do is we're going to use our line y minus 10 equals the slope, parentheses x plus 1, because we've already substituted the x1, y1 in that part. And we're going to substitute in our slope. So let's write down that equation. Substitute that slope in. A pseudo-distributive property with that -2, giving me y minus 10 equals -2 times the x plus a -2 times the 1. Let's bring it down. -2 times x is just a -2x, plus we have -2 times 1 is a -2. All right, let's draw our line of equality. Now we're going to remove that minus 10 by adding 10 to both sides. The 10's cancel. Y equals -2x. -2 plus a positive 10 will get me a positive 8. So now I have my slope-intercept form of a line that passes through the given points. Math of Mr. Williams, example 6. Using a slope and a point to write an equation. Write an equation in point-slope form with a line that passes through the point -8, 3 and has a slope of 1/4. All right, let's go ahead and write down our point-slope form. We have y minus y1 equals slope, parentheses, x minus x1. Let's go ahead and call this x1 and 3 the y1. And of course, the slope of 1/4 would just be our m, our slope. Let's go ahead and substitute our numbers in. So we have y minus 3 equals 1/4 for our slope, parentheses, x minus, and the x1 is a negative number, so we're going to put that in parentheses, a -8, end parentheses. Now let's clean that up because we don't want the minus next to each other. So we have y minus 3 equals 1/4 x, and we just add the opposite, so we add 8 to change it into point slope form. Math of Mr. Williams, example 7. Using 2 points to write an equation. Write an equation in slope-intercept form of the line shown. All right, so they give us 2 points. We have a 1, -2 on our line. We're going to call that x1, and the 2 will be y1. All right, down here we have a 3, -2, so we're going to call that x2 and y2. All right, let's go ahead and put down our slope format. So m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Substitute our numbers in. We have a negative 2 minus 2 over 3 minus 1. So we have m equals negative 2 minus another 2 gives me a negative 4 over 3 minus 1 is 2. And when we simplify that, that turns into negative 4 divided by 2 is a negative 2 for our slope. All right, let's go ahead and write down our point slope format. We're going to go ahead and use the point 1, 2 in that format. Let's substitute our numbers in. Let's use a distributor property here for the negative 2. Bring down the y minus 2. That equals negative 2 times the x minus negative 2 times the 1. Bring down the y minus 2. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x minus negative 2 times 1 is a negative 2. Now we can't leave the minus negative, so I'm going to go ahead and change that up real quick. We're going to add the opposite, just adding 2. I'm going to draw my line of equality, and I'm going to solve for the y. So I'm going to cancel out the minus 2 on the left by adding 2 to both sides of the line. Leave me with y equals negative 2x plus 4 for my slope-intercept form.